Are you considering moving to Montgomery County and maybe you're looking for a neo-traditional planned community where everything is walkable and life's a lot more simple? If that's you, then you've got to check out this video on the Kentlands. So, slight disclaimer, I live in Kentlands myself. I might be a little bit biased on this, but I've been here now for 3 years. I love the community because, once again, everything's so easy, everything's so walkable. I did a video 2 years ago in Kentlands. I think it came out really good. You might want to check it out, but this time I want to go a little bit deeper into some of the places that I like, why I like them, some of the businesses, some of the restaurants, and just some of the things that I do here in my spare time. So check it out. Hi, I'm Kevin Grolig, a real estate agent with Compass located in Potomac, Maryland. And thanks once again for checking out the latest video in my series, Real Kevin. Now that I've given you full disclosure that I'm a resident of Kentlands, you know what, we're going to go ahead and take kind of a driving tour and a little bit of a walking tour through the community. And really, I think at the end of the video, you kind of have to ask yourself, just like Mr. Rogers did back in the day, won't you be my neighbor? I can unequivocally say this. Kentlands is like no other neighborhood in Montgomery County, Maryland, or the entire DMV. As I drive through, let's first talk about the planning of Kentlands. Kentlands was created by local developer Joseph Alfondre, who wanted to capture the feel of DC area neighborhoods he loved as a kid. After buying the 352-acre estate in Gaithersburg's west side, Kentlands was designed as a neo-traditional planned community with over 1,655 residential units and over 1 million square feet of retail and office space. The community was planned so houses would be close together and closer to the street. This was so neighbors could get to know one another. Kentlands was also planned to be a mix of traditional styles of architecture with colonial, Victorian, and craftsman-style homes. This was so it would look as if it had been built over time rather than all at once. Instead of typical suburban loops and cul-de-sacs, the streets would form a tightly connected urban-style grid, enabling easy walking and biking. What you may or may not notice when you first drive through the community is many of the single-family homes and townhomes have detached garages located in the rear of the house. The garages are accessed through mews, otherwise known as small alleyways, not visible from the street. This gives a much cleaner look from the street. A series of parks and lakes would weave through the community. At the center was an elementary school, house of worship, and a main street lined with shops and pavilions. The idea was to offer a real community. The vast array of home styles and architecture is amazing. Single-family homes range in size from smaller cottages to homes in the 5,000 to 7,000 square foot range, and everywhere in between. In 2023, the lowest price for a single-family home sale was $725,000. The high was $1.325 million, and the average was $1.049 million. Now let's take a look at some of the townhomes. Once again, there are many different styles, floor plans, and facades. Some of the larger townhomes have up to 4 levels with rooftop balconies. When it comes to townhome pricing, in 2023, the lowest price for a townhome was $515,000. The highest sales price was $919,900, and the average sales price for a townhome in 2023 was $701,400. In Kentlands, you'll find mid-rise condominiums that are 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. The majority of the condominiums are in secure buildings. However, there are some that are more open-air configured. The lowest sales price in 2023 for a condominium in Kentlands was $290,000. The highest sales price was $549,900, and the average sales price was $417,655. In Montgomery County, there are other planned communities like Downtown Crown, Balls Grove, Park Potomac, and King Farm. And while I like those communities and have included them in some of my videos, Kentlands to me is the crown jewel. So let me tell you why. If I were to describe Kentlands aesthetically in one word, I would just say cute. Combination of tree-lined streets, white picket fences, and the diverse architecture you see from street to street and house to house is unparalleled to any other community in Montgomery County, and really any others that I'm aware of in the entire DMV. Whenever we invite friends or family from out of town, once they arrive, they always say the same thing. This community looks like a movie set. I've also heard many refer to the community as Pleasantville. Now, I don't know about all of that, but what do you think? Now, let me take you to some of my favorite nightlife locations. When it comes to restaurants, some of my faves I like to hang out in are Vasily's. They serve an upscale, fresh Mediterranean dishes. I would call it Mediterranean fusion. I love spanakopita, spicy crispy calamari, roasted cauliflower, and of course, the handcrafted cocktails. They also have an outdoor covered space that can be used year-round. Next is Sinengrin. Now, Sinengrin is much smaller and more of a fast casual restaurant. I personally love the Peruvian-styled charbroiled chicken with fried yuca, rice and beans. They also have a pretty intimate bar where I either order to go and have a drink while I wait, or eat directly at the bar. Some of my other faves are the grilled oyster with their fresh seafood, and when it comes to evenings out, you have Sinopolis Luxury Cinema. Sinopolis is awesome with comfy reclining chairs and waiter-waitress service where you will have the choice of food and spirit options. The only thing negative I see about Sinopolis is those chairs are so comfy, and once I get laid back there, even if the movie's really good, I have a hard time not falling asleep. Many evenings you'll find me hanging out with my fiance and friends on the weekends at Brews and Barrels, listening to live music and enjoying food and cocktails. Friday and Saturday evenings is live music, and they always seem to have the real good musicians or a small band playing there, and of course the games on all the TVs. There's no question I always see familiar faces, and I get to meet new people as well. Oh, one other pro tip at Brews and Barrels, my favorite dish there is the turkey Reuben on rye with sweet potato fries. You will also catch me at Vine Alley, especially in the spring and summer, listening to live music and enjoying friends and good cheer outside. Let's now talk about some of the historic structures in Kentlands. The original Kent Mansion was built in 1942 and today is owned by the city of Gaithersburg. And it's a perfect venue for weddings, receptions, social functions, and business events. The historic carriage house was built in approximately 1920 and can be rented out by members of the Kentlands Community Assembly for smaller, more informal gatherings. Last year, I rented it out for a seminar that I held. Next, you have the Arts Barn, which was originally built in 1901 as a stable for horses for the Schiffelli family. It is now the city's home for visual and performing arts. In addition to a 99-seat theater, the Arts Barn offers rotating art exhibits, gift shop featuring artist-made items, an active schedule of visual and performing art classes, as well as workshops and camps for children and adults. When it comes to recreational amenities, Kentlands is off the hook. There's a large community center. The main level of the Kentlands Community Center is where you'll find check-in for the pool or rec center. There's also a large banquet room that can be rented out for events. In the parking lot of the community center, there's an EV charging station for community residents only. The station has a dual port for 2 cars to charge at a time. This is on a first come, first served basis. The lower level of the community center is where you'll find the locker rooms and showers for the pool and gym. There are 3 permanent and lighted pickleball courts that can be reserved for residents online. Every now and then, you may find me at the pickleball courts. There are also 3 lighted tennis courts. Now, the last time I played tennis, I ruptured my Achilles, so you definitely won't find me doing that. Additionally, there's a full court basketball court. There are also 3 pools open between Memorial Day and Labor Day. There's an 83-foot lap pool, large social pool, and a toddler pool. And one thing I can also tell you, if you've got kids, Kentlands has a very active swim team. Additionally, Kentlands has 4 tot lots, with the biggest one located at the Kentlands Community Center. One thing that I think is super cool about Kentlands is there's 4 lakes within the community. 2 of the smaller ones are Lake Lynette and Lake Helene. The 2 larger lakes are Lake Inspiration and Lake Nirvana. All these lakes have trails that surround the lakes and meander throughout the community. All 4 of these lakes are open for fishing. My daughter Kristen, a few years back, caught a 4.5-pound largemouth bass in one of the lakes. Me, I haven't had the same luck. There's a 5th and larger lake owned by the Montgomery County government, which is located on the west side of Main Street, but visible to all. One of the things that I really appreciate is there's a whole system of walking paths that surround the Kentlands lakes and meander throughout the community. There really is something for everyone. And when it comes to walkability, you're simply not gonna find a better community in all of Montgomery County than Kentlands. Literally everything from Whole Foods, CVS, Restaurants and Nightlife is walking distance. The only downside I see to this is, admittedly, it's a little easier to not cook than go out and eat more often. Typically when it gets close to 6 p.m. and I look in the fridge and either feel completely uninspired or there's nothing in there, it's easy to say, let's go to Sin and Grin. One thing I also appreciate about Kentlands is its central location. It couldn't be any more smack dab in the middle of Montgomery County. As a realtor who covers the majority of Montgomery County, there's virtually nowhere in the county I can't be within 20 minutes. Kentlands is right across the street from the campus of AstraZeneca. It's also super close to major commuter routes like Great Seneca Highway, Sam Ige Highway, Key West Avenue, Route 28, Quince Orchard Road, and equal distance away from 2 entrances and exits for I-270. Once again, I love it in the Kentlands. The only negatives I see is, yeah, you can get a little lazy when it comes to cooking. It's easy to bail and go for a walk to dinner rather than pull something frozen out of the freezer. And the only other possible negative I see is, yes, while there is much to do here in Kentlands, every now and then you can feel like you're in a little bit of a bubble. Once again, because you're so centrally located, you're just minutes away from other restaurants and forms of nightlife in Montgomery County. It's also good to know you're approximately 30-minute drive south to DC or a 30 to 35-minute drive north to downtown Frederick. Well, there you have it. Kentlands 2024. What do you think of the Kentlands? Do you like the neo-traditional concept? Or are you the type looking for a little bit more privacy and open space? I would love to hear from you either way. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Also, I'd be grateful if you subscribe to the channel. Now, if you have any questions about the Kentlands or any other part of Montgomery County, I'd love the opportunity to chat with you. Feel free to hit me up directly by text at 240-793-7495. All that being said, I come back to the question, won't you be my neighbor? See you next week.